Hi there, it's me, Simone the Zen Mommy. Thank you for watching my YouTube channel where I help you with your spiritual awakening, ascension, and the healing of the mind, body, and soul. Today I want to talk about the struggles with being an empath. So I've been thinking about these empath abilities a lot. And for me, I have had the hardest time with being an empath. And I've been reluctant to do a video on it because I feel like I'm not completely as knowledgeable about empaths as much as I want to be. So I'm going to talk about this video, the empath. I'm just going to talk about my journey as an empath, I guess, to start off with. So the first thing about being an empath, the number one thing in my journey was first is awareness, realizing you are an empath. That's like an important part to be an empath, is knowing that you're one, because if you don't know you're one, you won't understand what's going on with you. And with the empath, it's so much to be an empath. First when I woke up and I realized, oh, I'm an empath, I can resonate with people, I can feel other people's feelings and emotions, and you don't really know that you're doing it, and a lot of times you think that the emotions you're feeling are yours. And so that's been my struggle with being an empath. I always thought, because I was a sensitive person, and like I'm actually this sensitive, intuitive empath, where when a person is physically hurting, bleeding, hurt, I actually hurt in my bones. Like I feel the pain. It's like it's torture. And so there's different, I guess, varying degrees of being an empath. It could be just picking up someone's emotions, or it could just be feeling the energy around you. And so being an empath is a real tool, right? But it's a challenging tool to have. It's like the universe is calling you to have a role, I guess, in this reality as a healer. It helps you definitely with your intuitive abilities, telepathic communications. It makes you more psychic. Sometimes a lot of this stuff, like when people say I'm psychic or I'm telepathic, and it's really just picking up on energy and feeling the vibration of the people around you. Okay, so my struggle with being an empath is I've attracted narcissists. So the empath will be a target for a toxic person, a narcissistic person, an energy vampire. Also, being an empath has also been hard for me to be in relationships. And so one of the things I've learned about being an empath in relationships is you so you get with somebody, right? And you form this connection, this psychic, this cord to this person, so you have an energetic connection with them. So not only in normal relationships everybody form this connection, but not an empath, you're also taking on this person's energies. So I noticed I had this toxic narcissistic energy vampire husband, and he was a sociopath, a psychopath. He was crazy. Don't ask me how I ended up with him. A series of me just being like thinking everybody could change and I could love everybody and my love would heal the world. Or that's the problem with empaths. We think that we can focus on this one person, but the truth is that one person is really getting the best of us. And so what I learned is at the point where I was at a point where I literally thought I was going crazy. This man was crazy. He was bipolar. He kept saying one thing, saying the opposite other. And before you know it, I started to become bipolar. I started to become lightweight narcissistic. I started to not care as much. I really just started to take on this toxic person. Let me tell you something, a toxic person is like a disease in the body. It's like an infection. If you are around something that is contagious, you will start picking up on that infection. And it just got to the point where I became less sensitive with my daughter, with my friends, and but I didn't know what was going on. I didn't understand. I just thought I was going crazy. I tried to check myself into the mental hospital. I was just like, something is wrong with me, and they're like, no, people that need to be here, they don't check themselves in. And so now that was like a whole toxic situation that caused my awakening, right? So the next step about me being an empath is I got into a relationship that wasn't as toxic as that one. And that's when I really started to learn about my empath abilities. Now, I thought I came in thinking, well, I absorbed, my husband, who was a psychopath, and I started going crazy and I started to feel his emotions and vibrations. I can certainly absorb someone else who is organized. It's like my problem had always been organizing. I wanted to change my life around. And so I was dating this guy who was completely organized. And I was thinking, yes, I'm going to be around him. I'm going to absorb him and I'm going to become like him. And so the thing is, I know we take in all of this energy of this person. It got to the point where I started saying phrases that he always said. And I started to get to the point where, see, the thing is with an empath, the thing we have to be careful of is we really have to protect our energy, because people will manipulate you. They will manipulate you using your goodness against you, using your kindness against you. And so I began to get manipulated in that situation, in different situations, but in this situation, I began to get manipulated as an empath, because like I would feel something was wrong and I would be unhappy with it, right? And I would express my concern. Look, I'm upset. I don't like this. I don't like being treated like this, right? And then a person that knows, see, the thing is with the narcissist, they know that you're sensitive, and they appeal to that sweet, sensitive side, that loving, that caring side, that side that you could feel them, right? So they'll come to you. I remember we were in an argument, and I was for surely upset, and I wanted to turn around for good, and never, and he came to me with this whole, in tears, and made me feel really awful. I started to pick up on how bad he was feeling, and then I began to feel bad. And see, let me tell you, one thing I learned: never say a yes to someone when it's a no to yourself. And that's the one thing an empath has to deal with, is you can't give yourself continually to other people. You have to realize that you have to learn how to break that connection at times, so that you can figure out who you are. So also, like, things like with an empath, with me, like, there was this other guy that was interested in me, and I was talking to him as a friend, but his feelings for me were getting strong, and as an empath, I was picking up on that. And for a moment, I was thinking, oh, I thought I was getting feelings for this person. But the truth is, I was absorbing his feelings for me. And it literally, like, it kind of can drive you crazy taking on these other energies, because I was confused. I was like, no, I can't be. But it gets to a point. And so I guess my suggestion, or what I've learned in my journey, is like, you have to step outside of the situation. Because like, if we make our decisions based on our feelings at the moment, we may be making the wrong decision for ourselves. So it's very important to protect your energy. So if you're in a relationship or around someone that's hogging you, that their energy is such a strong energy that you're taking it, you have to take time for yourself. And that was one of the reasons that was hard for me, is I wasn't taking much time for myself. I got involved, I got engrossed into this relationship, I was picking up on his energy. I, in a sense, was becoming a small version of him. And that's kind of what happens, an empath, you can lose yourself if you don't know yourself. And so I guess the most important part is like, it's like setting a foundation on who you are. So for me, I had to take some time away, and sometimes it takes a minute. You might have to take a few days. You have to take some time away, and you have to be really aware of the emotions and the feelings that are coming. If you're an empath, this is like the most highly important part, is awareness. You have to start really evaluating your life and evaluating your moods, your feelings, the energy. You have to actually, I would really recommend meditating and connecting about being more sensitive to energies, because it's better to go into this knowledgeable, right? So once you start to understand, you start to look at the energies you're feeling, right? Like, all of a sudden, I'm feeling like, let's just use the example. I'm feeling like, oh, I'm really liking this person, right? But it's kind of off, because I know that there's certain reasons why I wouldn't like this person, right? But all of a sudden I am. So you have to start to think, you have to actually consider every emotion that you have and wonder, is this emotion mine? And so once you identify that, okay, this actually, and when you really think about it and you look into it, you'll start to see, this isn't me. And so once you start to identify that, you have to acknowledge the fact that this emotion is not mine. Okay, so you can say not mine, or you can say my shaman tells me, say I take what's mine and I leave the rest behind. So basically you want to consciously say that. You want to say it to yourself out loud, probably would be like the best, and be like, okay, this is not my emotion. And I'm gonna tell you, that has done some wonders for me, but it's not easy, okay? Because you can say not my emotion and you can stop really feeling it, but still, you're still sensitive. You still want to empathize with the other person. Well, at that point, it just takes like really learning and knowing yourself, and knowing that, okay, you know what, yes, this person is going through this. I really feel for them. I understand their situation, right? But you got to understand, like, you have to start telling yourself what they're going through is for their evolution, okay? It's really not for me to infringe. And at the same time, you have to understand that you are important. There's a lot of times with an empath is we're so mixed up in everybody's issues, everybody's energy, our family, our mother, our brother, our sister, our boyfriend, our husband, that we lose ourselves, we forget about ourselves. And that's why it's like, it's really, really important to like protect your energy as an empath. It protect the places you go. And you have to, for me, in my journey, I have to go out to nature. I have to clear my mind. I have to meditate. I'm just going to say an empath probably has a harder job than a non-empathic person, right? It's because you have to work very hard to establish you and who you are. And so I kind of just wanted to touch on that. I'll go into more details because I am an empath, right? And I know I've been needing to do more empath videos lately. And a lot of people, they can get to a point where they just don't understand what's going on. They're feeling drained at the end of the day. They're not feeling well. And it's just like just being in the crowd, going to work, all the subtle energies you can pick up on. And so I truly believe that we are blessed with this gift of being an empath for a reason. It's just going to take a little bit of a journey and struggle to figure out ourselves. And see, that's the whole key part. You're awakening, but you're also awakening to your true self. And on this journey, you're learning who you are. So being an empath, you just have to take a closer look at who you are and how you are protecting your energy. And so always know that when you start feeling really bad and you start getting a lot of negative feelings and emotions, that just may not be you, right? And let's just say even something stressful hits your life, like all of a sudden you lost your job and you're stressed out, you don't think the bills is going to get paid, and you're overly stressed. You have to understand that sometimes that can be an energy we picked up from someone else being overly stressed. So their stress is now attached to our stress, growing it to something bigger. And so that's the thing really with an empath. It's just like you have to start being aware. You have to start like not taking your life lightly. You have to understand that you are important and that you have to be your priority. Like I said, do not say yes to someone else when it's a no to yourself, because that's a way to get you drained. And so that's the number one thing, is be careful of energy vampires and protect your energy at all costs. And so anyways, I just want to touch on empaths real quick. Thank you for watching. Peace and love. Namaste.